Good afternoon, parents. Welcome to the briefing on the streaming exercise and subject combinations for Secondary 3 in 2022. It is our pleasure this afternoon to bring you through the various subject combinations that are being offered next year. Your child has now come to an important crossroad of his or her secondary education journey where he or she needs to make important decisions in order to move forward to the next phase. It is really important that both you and your child spend some time to discuss the subject combinations and elective subjects to be chosen. This should be based on your child's interests, aptitude and strength for the subject, and his or her overall results, as the streaming process is based on several criteria including overall results and choice. Take some time to consider your child's options very carefully because this will impact the post-secondary educational institution that he or she decides on in 2 years' time, whether it is to a junior college, centralized institute, or the polytechnics, wherever it is that suit your child's interests and talents. This will then pave the way forward for his career choice in the future. While you and your child are considering the various subject combinations, it is also necessary to know what future skills are being emphasized in the post-secondary study and work, as this may impact the choice that you and your child decide on. We have two QR codes here that will link you up to the articles that will provide you with a little more information on this. As I've highlighted earlier, our education system has multiple pathways and choices that your child can pursue that best suits his or her interest, ability, and passion. It is therefore good to start getting to know the different post-secondary educational institutions and see where your child's interests and strengths fit in. So, what are the various post secondary school options that are available for your child? There are three main types of options. Firstly, you have the junior colleges or the Millennia Institute that prepare students for the GCE A level examination. The second set of options are the polytechnics, LaSalle College of the Arts, or the Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts that train students with relevant skills for the workplace in the knowledge-based economy. And the third option is the Institute of Technical Education, or the ITE, that equips students with technical knowledge and skills that are relevant to the industry. Now let me just focus for students on the O-level course. This gives you an overview of the aggregate computation for the admission to Junior College, Millennia Institute, the Polytechnics, and Institute of Technical Education courses. We will look at each one a little closer in the next few slides. Bonus points are given to students and can be used in the computation of the net aggregate scores during posting. For example, applicants who are active in their secondary school's co-curricular activities or CCA and are seeking admission to either the JC or Polytechnic may gain up to 2 CCA bonus points that are used to compute the net aggregate score. 2 bonus points may also be given for students seeking admission to the JC or MI courses if they have attained grades of A1 to C6 in both their first languages, that is, English language and a higher mother tongue. This is provided that these choices come before any polytechnic or ITE choices. The maximum bonus points allowable is limited to a maximum of 4. Let's now have a closer look at the A-level path. The JCs and the Millennia Institute offer the Singapore-Cambridge A-Level curriculum, which provides students with learning opportunities in three areas, largely the life skills, knowledge, and subject disciplines that are required for further education to a university or a specialized institute of higher learning. So what does one study at the A levels? Students may select subjects from three levels of study: a H1 subject, H2, or H3 subjects. For the H1 subjects, these are the less demanding subjects, which are half of the H2 subjects in terms of the curriculum time. The H2 subjects are equivalent to the A-level subjects prior to 2006. And the H3 subjects are the more demanding ones, with opportunities given for in-depth studies, for example, advanced content, research paper, or even the university modules. So the usual subject combination would be something like 3 H2s and 1 H1. A typical subject combination may actually look something like this: 1 H2 math, a H2 chemistry, H2 biology, and a H1 economics, which is a contrasting subject. A contrasting subject may be offered either at the H1 level or the H2 level. The eligibility criteria for the JCs is based on the L1 R5 aggregate score of 20 or less. The details of the requirements of the core subjects are shown on this slide. For the admission to the Millennia Institute, or the MI, the eligibility criteria is based on the L1 R4 aggregate score of 20 or less. The details of the requirements for the core subjects are shown on this slide. Now let me move on to the polytechnic path. So how does your child apply to a polytechnic, LaSalle College of the Arts, or the Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts? There are two possible ways. The first, using his or her O-level results under the Joint Polytechnic Admissions Exercise, or known as the JAE. The JAE information booklet that is given to each child each year has the most up-to-date cut-off point figures for the various courses. The second possible way is through the Direct Admissions Exercise, or also known as the DAE. This caters to applicants who are not eligible to participate in any of the joint poly admissions exercises. There is a range of courses being offered at the polytechnics. We have given you some examples of the aggregate computation for admission for some polytechnic courses. For example, here is the admission criteria for the Humanities and Mass Communication course. In the next few slides, you will see some of the admission criteria for other courses. This is the criteria for the business-related courses. This is the requirement for the Applied Science, Technology and Engineering courses. And these are the requirements for the design courses.
Good afternoon, parents. I am Miss Nyo Hui Jin, the subject head of physics. It is my pleasure today to bring you through the second part of today's briefing. We have now come to the segment that you have been waiting for, Secondary Tree Express Subject Combinations in 2022. The school values students' centricity and continues to develop our students' strengths and talents. For 2022, you might be pleased to know that the school has offered a broad-based subject combinations to allow students to choose subjects based on their interests and strength. Secondary Tree Express subjects. Each subject is given a code, and those with an asterisk are the compulsory subjects. For example, L is the code given for language. This includes English and mother tongue. For science, we have two categories of science. PS is the code given for pure science, which include biology, chemistry, and physics. SC is the code given for combined science. We offer combined science of biology and chemistry, and combined science of physics and chemistry. MA is the code given for mathematics, which include mathematics, known as EMaths, additional mathematics, known as AMath, computing, and principle of accounts, known as POA. H is the code given for humanities. This includes combined humanities of social studies, together with the elective of geography, history, or literature, or the pure humanities subject, which include geography and literature. C is the code given for coursework, which include art, design and technology, known as DT, or food and nutrition, known as. To facilitate the discussion between yourself and your child, today we shall focus on two main points of discussion. Number one, to decide the total number of subjects. 7 subjects. We'll be looking at option 1 and 2 later. 8 or 9 subjects. We'll be looking at option 3 and 4 later. The second point of discussion is based on the type of subject combinations as determined by the science subject, namely triple pure science, combination 1 and 2, double pure science, combination 3, 4, and 5, 1 pure science and 1 combined science, combination 6 and 7, last but not least, 1 combined science, combination 8, 9, 10, and 11. Let's take a closer look at secondary 3 express subject combinations in 2022. One of the first questions that you might want to discuss with your child is the total number of subjects that he or she would like to take. Let's take a closer look at the 7 subjects combination. These largely include 2 options. Option 1, which is the 1 combined science combination, and option 2, which is the 2 pure science subjects combination. Let's take a look at option 1. For the first 3 subjects, they will be the compulsory subjects of English language, mother tongue, and E-Math. There will be choices for subject 4 to 7. For subject 4, this is the combined humanities of social studies, with choice for the elective, geography, history, or literature. For subject 5, this is the combined science subject, with the choice for combined science physics chemistry or combined science biology chemistry. For subject 6, there will be a choice between coursework, art DT or FN, or another mathematics subject, computing. For subject 7, there will be choice for AMath or principle of account. Let's take a look at option 2. This is the 2 pure science subject combination. The first 3 subjects are the compulsory subjects of English language, mother tongue, and E-Math. The 4th subject is the combined humanities subject, with the option for SS geography or SS History, or SS Literature. Subject number 5 is the pure science subject of chemistry. Subject number 6, there will be an option for the pure science subject between biology or physics. And the 7th subject will be A Math. For the 7 subject combination, there are some listed criteria. In order to help your child to cope with the rigor of the subjects offered, there are some considerations. To offer pure science subjects, he must have obtained at least 70% in Secondary 2 Science. To offer additional mathematics, he must have obtained at least 70% in Secondary 2 Mathematics. To offer the combination with a total of 3 mathematics subjects, namely E-Math, Computing, and A-Math, he must have obtained at least 75% in Secondary 2 Mathematics. Let's take a look at 8 or 9 subjects in total. If your child is interested to take a total of 8 or even 9 subjects, these will be the options that he can consider. Let's take a closer look at option 3. The first 7 subjects are identical to option 1. The 8th subject will be either biology, or physics, or geography, or literature. Let's take a closer look at option number 4. Option number 4, the first 7 subjects are identical to option 2 earlier. On top of that, to offer the 8 or 9 subject, that will include the 8th subject as geography, or literature, or computing. And the 9th subject will be the third pure science subject. If a child is interested to take a total of 8 or 9 subjects, please note that a set of additional criteria applies. If the 8th subject is biology or physics, he must have obtained at least 70% in Secondary 2 overall and Secondary 2 Science. If the 8th subject is geography, he must have obtained at least 70% in Secondary 2 overall as well as Secondary 2 Geography. If the 8th subject offered is literature, he must have obtained at least 70% in Secondary 2 overall and Secondary 2 Literature. If the 8th subject is computing, he must have obtained at least 70% in Secondary 2 overall and at least 75% in Secondary 2 Mathematics. This is the combination with 3 math subjects, namely E-Math, Computing, and A-Math. To offer 9 subjects of the third pure science, he must have obtained at least 75% in Secondary 2 overall, as well as Secondary 2 Science and Secondary 2 Mathematics. Now, let's focus on our second point of discussion today. Instead of merely considering the total number of subjects, we can recategorize the earlier 4 options into different subject combinations based on the science. What you see here are the different subject combinations for triple pure science. For example, for student A offering subject combination 2, this will be the possible combination: 2 languages of English language and mother tongue, 3 pure sciences of chemistry, biology, and physics, 2 mathematics, which include E-Math and A-Math, and 2 humanities, which include combined humanities, for example, SS Geography, and a pure humanities, example, literature. Please note that students are required to select a different humanities elective if pure geography or pure literature is offered. What you see here are the different subject combinations for double pure science. For example, for student B offering subject combination 4, these include 2 language of English language and mother tongue, 2 pure science, which include the compulsory pure science of chemistry, and the other one can be an option of either biology or physics. The 2 mathematics of E-Math and A-Math, and the 2 humanities, for example, combined humanities, social studies, history, and pure humanities, geography. What you see here are the subject combinations for 1 pure science and 1 combined science option. For example, student C offering subject combination 7. This include 2 language, English language and mother tongue, 1 pure science with the option of either biology or physics, 1 combined science with the option of combined science biology chemistry or combined science physics chemistry. Please note, students are required to select a different combined science component if pure biology or pure physics is offered. So in this case, student C chose subject 3 as biology and subject 4 as combined science physics chemistry. The next 2 subjects of mathematics, which include E-Math and Principle of Accounts, 1 humanities subjects, for example, combined humanities, social studies, literature, 1 coursework subject, for example, art. What you see here are the different subject combinations for the 1 combined science option. For example, student D offering subject combination 9. He can be offering 2 language, which include English language and mother tongue, 1 combined science, for example, science, biology, chemistry, 2 mathematics subject, for example, E-Math and A-Math, 2 humanities subjects, for example, humanities SS history and pure geography, 1 coursework subject, for example, design and technology. Let's take a look at the promotion criteria. For your child to be promoted from 2 Express to 3 Express, he must pass in English language and attain an overall percentage of 50% or more. Let's take a look at the schedule. From August to September, we will be engaging your child in a subject combination survey to find out about his interests. In October, after the end of year examination, this will be the period of the actual streaming selection and exercise. At the end of October, it will be the release of the streaming exercise results. It is important for you to discuss with your child and help him to build a correct mindset and set a strong foundation. Help your child to develop the growth mindset. We can intentionally role model resilience and use space language. Support and listen to your child. Process setbacks and work with your child to develop alternate plans to overcome setbacks. Affirm him of his strengths and encourage his efforts. Cheer him on and empower your child with skills and opportunities to try. I hope I have provided you with enough information and clarity for the streaming exercise. I've come to the end of today's briefing. Thank you.